Hey guys, I am back with another tutorial, and today we are going to be making a spa refrigerator. Now for this, of course, you're going to need your prints, and then you're going to need your foam board, and then you're going to need, of course, replacement glue sticks. You're going to need your metal ruler. You are going to need your some scissors, that's optional, some X-Acto blades, replacement blades, because we are all about those sharp and smooth cuts, your acetate, your double-sided adhesive, and of course your glue gun. You can find everything you need to make this project in the description. I have my Amazon storefront, which has all the tools that I use, and you can also find the template that I use today in the description as well. So we're going to start off by sticking our images on the foam board. I'm pretty much trying to see how many images can fit. That is the inside, so we're just going to leave that because that goes on the back. So the size for this box that I'm doing is going to be 8.5 by 11. And for this, I used about one foam board and a little extra piece. And that was pretty much it. The prints, I usually print them at home, but as you guys know from previous videos, I am traveling, so I got these prints at CVS. I created a gang sheet, so if you guys want to know how to do that, just click the link that's in the playlist because I do have that video in there as well. So we're just going to peel a little bit off the back, and then we're going to position it to where we need it to be, and we're just going to smooth and pull. This definitely allows for control without air bubbles. For this box, like my other boxes, once you do the bottom, you're going to glue the sides and then the back and the front. I just started doing that. I just started creating all my templates like that because to me, it just gives a cleaner look, especially from the front view. You don't see that little side wall, you know, the foam from the side wall. And like I said, it's just a cleaner look. Now, I like to use as much of the foam board as possible. These are repositionable stickers, so if you know anything, you can always boom, peel up, restick. Just make sure it's not all the way down because it can be a little tricky once that happens. But now I'm just sticking all the pieces down and I'll be back. Okay, so like I said, this is going to take about one foam board and a scrap. This is 8.5 by 11. And the only reason why I flipped this part over is because the other part was bent. Listen, I don't know what's wrong with my baby, but every time you see a foam board, he got to step on it. So this is what we got to do. Now this piece, I accidentally, when I was creating my gang sheet, made it a little bit too wide, so we're just gonna cut that down. It's not that big of a deal, and so this is how it looks. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to put it on the foam board, but this is just how I did it. So now we are going to take our metal ruler and our sharpened X-Acto blade. Now I recently just changed my blade, so I did not need to change my blade, but this might be your time to change your blade before you get to cutting. Because, like I said, in 2025, we are doing smooth cuts. Okay, so now all the pieces are done and I'm going to cut the shelf. Like I said, when I did it, I did it too big, or I didn't do it wide enough, as you can see. So all I did was take the top and I'm just gonna cut that. I'm gonna use the top piece to measure where I need to cut, because the top, the bottom, and the shelf are gonna be pretty much almost the same size. Only the shelf, I always make a little smaller, so that it's not, when you're closing the door, it's not like right there. So I'm just using the top to pretty much measure how wide it needs to be. And then I'm going to take my metal ruler and I'm just going to cut that extra white part off. And boom, just like that. Right now, I probably just seen a little white part, and that's what I cut off because I can't. But we're done. We're done. Well, no, we're not done with the cutting because we still have to cut the front of the door, but we're pretty much done. And we have our shelf, our top. Those are the pieces that go on the door. This is the front. That's the back. This is the side. Well, those are the sides. Then you have your top and bottom. And your shelf, and that is for the shelf for the door. While we're here, we might as well just add that image to the back. Now, please be sure when adding the image to make sure that it's going the correct way, because it can be a little tricky if it's upside down. Trust me, I've been there, done that, and I try not to do it again. Okay, now that that is done, we are going to cut the front of this door before I forget. So this is pretty much, well, pretty easy because I don't have that many images in front of the window. So we're just going to take our ruler and we are going to just press down all the way, try to get it through the bottom. I think the next one, I'm just going to take that paper off the foam in the back, because that's just going to make it a lot easier so I don't have to fight with the foam. So just take your metal ruler and your X-Acto knife and you just add that pressure so that you can pierce that paper in the back. And boom, just like that, it's out. And after that's done, I like to clean up the areas that are, not as clean as the others, especially around the image that's, what would you say, 3D-ish? Child, I don't know. But I just take my blade and I try to cut whatever needs to be cut at like an angle, if that makes sense. Okay, so now that is pretty much done, and we are going to clean up this little foam area because, like I said before, it sticks to the acetate, and it's definitely hard to get off once you've already taped the acetate down. But that's how it's supposed to look, and we're gonna grab that piece that we plopped out the door, and we're gonna take our acetate and just measure. And I like to give myself grace and add a border on the sides just so that it gives me room for the tape. And I'm just going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure and cut. And boom, that is done. So now we're going to take our double-sided tape and we are going to glue our acetate down. So we're just going to take the tape and we're going to measure close to the door. And we're going to smooth that down a little bit with our fingers just to make sure that it's like completely on there, because it can be a little tricky to get off that protective paper off of the double-sided adhesive. The acetate and double-sided tape I purchased on Amazon. So if you look in the description, you will see my Amazon storefront where I have all of the tools that I use. So now we're going to take our acetate and we're just going to put it on there and smooth those edges down, just to make sure that it's sticking pretty good. Okay, and just like that, it is done. So now it's the fun part. It's time to glue the pieces together. And we are going to take our sides and our bottom, and what are we doing? We're measuring, because it is so important to measure. So now that I measured and I see that that part is what it needs to be, I'm just going to take the glue gun and I'm going to glue on that bottom foam piece. So you're just going to take that, and then you're going to take one of your sides and you're just going to pretty much align. Oop, child. It's not fully stuck yet. So we're just going to align that. Let's set that up. And then we're going to add our other side. So now this is where we just need to stop, because I forgot. Usually I like to glue everything that needs to be glued down before I add the other side. So I would do the shelf, and then I would do the top, and then I would do the side. But child, I didn't do that. So right now I'm just adding that other side. But if you want to work smarter and not harder, we're going to glue all the other pieces first, and then we're going to glue that side. And I'm just taking that extra foam board and I am cleaning up the extra glue that spilled. So now that that is done, I'm just waiting for a quick minute for it to, like, you know, dry a little bit. And then I am going to take the top. Oh, well, right now I am measuring the back, and it's pretty good. So I'm taking the top, and I am pretty much just measuring right now. And then I'm going to glue that top down. I am so sorry about this angle. I don't know what was going on. I'm trying to figure out my angles when making these tutorials on what is a better view for you guys to see, so that, like I said, you guys can see see better and see what I'm doing better. So I'm just doing different things. So I glued the top on, and then I'm just squeezing it a little bit just to make sure that everything is how it needs to be, and I am adjusting because I like for it to be leveled. And then I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm just going to like seal in those creases just to make sure everything is good. Okay, now that that's all done, I'm going to take the back piece. And remember, it has an inside image, so the inside goes in the front. And I am just measuring before I glue down. It is definitely very important to make sure that you measure before you get to gluing, because if you need to cut off anything, you can do that. If you need to, listen, undo the whole box and start over, you can do that. Just measure. So now that that's good, I'm just gonna glue the sides, the back of the box, and add that image on top. Even though this glue gun is a high heat glue gun, which allows it to take a little bit longer to cool down, you still need to hurry up, child. I was just moving too slow, but I was trying to hurry up. And then we're just gonna like smooth that down really quick, align, and push down. And then I'm just going to add a little pressure just to make sure everything seals down correctly. And you're just going to do that for like a couple seconds. And how cute is that? That is so cute. Now, one thing I did forget to get is the mirror. So do not forget to get your mirror, guys, because you do not want to pass out something that says mirror. So this is where I realized that, oh my gosh, I forgot to add the shelf. So this is me. I'm just like sticking the shelf in there. But like I said previously, you're going to glue that shelf down before you glue that other side wall. So after you attach the bottom to the side wall, you're going to glue that shelf as well. And then the top. And then add the side wall. Listen, it is always something going on with me. And these tutorials where it's just not like perfection, but I think that's good. That's good, so that it gives you guys opportunity to see how you can troubleshoot if you come across any of these, mishaps. And I did not add glue to the sides of the shelf before I put it in. So all I did was I'm gluing the bottom, just to kind of like seal it. I'm going to glue the bottom, and I'm going to take that extra glue off, smooth it down. And it should be pretty good, because what we're not doing is we're not adding like anything that's heavy in here. And because it's a tight squeeze, so it's a perfect fit. So it's not really going to come down or move. And for this isn't like a vending machine or anything like that. So the shelf is not at the bottom, because we are going to have a little piece for on the door. So the shelf is at the top, like how I have it. Now, you don't have to put a shelf if you don't want to. I just think it's really cute. They could put their little lip glosses in there, or compact, or, whatever on that little shelf. So now that that's done, we are going to build the box for the door. So you have the bottom, and then you have the side pieces. And that was me again measuring. Child, listen, no matter how early I get up trying to do this baby is over here just being rude. But anyway, we are going to just glue those side pieces to the bottom. So now that that is done, and this is what it's going to look like, we're just going to leave that over, and we're going to add the back of the little box for the door. So you can either have that going, the image on the back, or you can have the image on the front. I should have printed two so that the image can be on the front and the back, because you want it to look as cute as possible. But I'm like, what the heck? Because if you open the door, you want it to look cute. But if you close the door, you definitely want it to look cute too. But I didn't realize that until after I made the box, that I should have printed an image for the inside as well. And this little area I just created so that they could put like a little, I don't know, child, lip gloss. I don't know. I just thought it was cute. But it can definitely hold maybe like a lip gloss or something. And on the door, this is where it's going to go. It's going to go right above that little bottom area. You do not want it too low because you need that little space for the door to close. And if it's too low, the door's not going to close because it's going to be in the way of that bottom piece. So we just measured, and I believe right where the bottom of that acetate is where I pretty much glued it a little bit underneath. And we're just gonna lay that down, and we're just gonna push it a little bit just to, like I said, seal it in for a couple seconds. And boom, that is done. It is so cute, guys. And I'm just gonna take the glue gun and I'm going to seal those little creased areas. This is just for added security. It really does help. It's kind of like caulking, you know? And again, so sorry for this angle. I will definitely be more aware next time of what is going on. But this is how it's supposed to look. So we are going to just measure it on the door. Now, I do have hinges because I bought them, so I'm going to be using them, and this is where we're going to place it. We're not placing it on the right, we're placing it on the left, and then we're pretty much done. This box is so easy, guys. It is just ridiculous how easy it is, and it is so cute. So we're just going to take our hinges, and we're just going to place two. One at the top and one at the bottom. Now, if you're doing self hinge, you can go ahead. Just make sure it's on the left, and you're just gonna not forget to add that little extra piece on the inside for added security. And then you're gonna score the sides and glue it down. But, child, we got hinges, so this is what we're doing. Because we are going to use these hinges up. And then we're just going to strategically place one, not all the way at the top, but just a little bit below. And we're going to do the same thing with the bottom. We're not going to place it all the way to the bottom, but a little bit above. And just like that, it is done. I want to thank you guys so much for taking time to watch my video. If you like what you see and want to see more, do not forget to like, turn on those notification bells, and until next time, happy crafting.